Mm.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Angeles from the San Mateo Area Chamber of Commerce, and so happy to see you on screen and looking forward to the day where we can meet virtually, or not virtually, in person. And I'm so pleased to introduce Stephanie Vedder. I have met her a few times, but I have heard wonderful things about her and her marketing skills. If you read her bio, she's won awards and has clients that just swear by her. Number one is Saley Gosula, whom I think you all know. And Stephanie's going to speak to us today about Google My Business. And I think that means how can we get our businesses to show up, first when people are Googling us. So Stephanie, thank you so much and take it away.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a topic that seemed to have a lot of interest lately, and I've been doing a lot of training about it. And so today, I really wanted to be able to get in and do a demonstration so I can show you some different things that you'll be able to take from here and to positively make an impact for your business. So I'll start with just a little bit of education, a little bit of background. There's been a lot of changes and enhancements to what you can do with your Google My Business profile. So we'll take a look at what does Google look at and what do they want to see with that listing to actually give you preferential treatment on page 1 of Google. And then I'll just dive right in. And I did save a good amount of time for questions because there's always questions. And there is, keep in mind, a lot you can do with this page. I'm going to give you just some of the really key things that are really important today. I'll share my screen. Get rid of that. And just to sort of lay the groundwork, one thing that I wanted to share about why Google My Business is so important, because anytime you do a search on Google for a business that you don't know the name of, you're looking for a provider, somebody in your area that can help you with X. I just happened to do a search this morning for home health care agencies in San Mateo. You can see right here that there's 9,210,000 relevant web pages to that particular search. And I used a city. So when you think about page 1 and how do we get to page 1, if you're trying to get to page 1, if you've tried, if you've succeeded, if you've failed, you know that it's really challenging. And just to break down the components of this page to give you more of an understanding of how Google lays things out. On the top above the map section, you'll see paid ads. Today there was only 1, but you can see up to 4 folks in this section. And you'll notice by where it says ad right here. This is the fastest but most expensive way to get your business to page 1 to show up for the types of things that you do where you do it. And then we have the ability to pin your way to page 1. And that is our map section. It started out as maps and has evolved into the Google My Business that we know today. You do have the ability to place ads to get yourself there. But these folks, there's 3 of them, and we know there's many more healthcare agencies in San Mateo, but there's 3 that rise to the surface and get that preferential treatment to be shown here in this coveted prime real estate on page 1. And then you've got 10 spots here in the organic section. And a lot of times you'll see heavy hitters like Yelp, national brands. And even though Google in their algorithm does want to give love to our local neighborhood businesses because they want to show that combination of what's there, it can be very challenging to get to this spot. So it takes time. We call it prove it. You have to prove your way there, and it does take some time and investment. So today we're going to focus on this section. This is your Google My Business. And one of the best things about it, as my friend Steve Gimnicker would say, is it's free. All you have to do is put a little time and effort and have some consistency with your listing to be able to show up here. So I'm going to show you, if you were to go out, the easiest way to get to your listing if you haven't claimed it yet is to go to Google and actually Google your business name. If you see something like this come up on the right-hand side, that is your Google My Business listing. If you don't see something there, then essentially you have to start from the beginning and set up your listing. Either way, you're going to go to business.google.com. But if you do have a listing that shows up and you see a little link right here, this is sort of the cheat sheet way to get into your listing. You would click on Own This Business and follow the prompts to get yourself access. So once you have that access and you're logged into your dashboard, it will look like this. I'm going to step back for just a second and sort of show you, before we dive in, the 4 main areas of what Google is looking for excellence in your Google My Business profile. The first one is your presence. Did you know that completed Google listings get 7 times more clicks compared to an empty or incomplete or unclaimed listing? So step 1 on Google My Business is to go into your listing, look at all the different fields, and fill out everything you can as complete and robust as possible. So we'll look at some best practices on how to do that. The second one is your reputation. So I'm sure you've seen other folks have reviews and there's a star rating that comes along with Google. The beauty of that is that all your reviews stay, as opposed to other platforms out there like Yelp, where they will hide and filter and sort things based on an algorithm of their own. So building and maintaining a strong online reputation is obviously key to attracting new users. But Google My Business is a great place to focus your review strategy, and I'll show you a little bit more about how to do that. And then we have outreach. Google Posting allows you to promote events, products, sales, offerings, anything directly on your listing. And it's going to get you more preferential treatment. As with any platform that's out there right now online, really, those folks just want to see the most current, up-to-date, relevant, helpful, valuable information. And so what a great way, by utilizing the different formats of the posting, to promote the different areas of your business. And then there's communication. Anyone, including you, can ask questions about your business. It's essentially a small FAQ section right there on your Google My Business page. You want to make sure that if you're getting any alerts, if users go in and ask you a question, that you as the business, which you'll get an email notifying you that this has happened, can go in there and provide a strong answer. Utilizing keywords in this area too is just another thing that's going to help you show up for those different keyword searches. So that's just a little bit of what we want to think of as we're going into our page. So when you log in, the home page here is really just a summary of all things. You'll see there's some shortcuts to different things like updating your business hours, posting a COVID-19 update. That's a super key thing to do these days, so I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. It'll give you some insight into performance, and I can share that some of the clients that I've worked with, with some consistency in posting on their page, they're seeing 30% increases 30 days in, 50% increases 60 days in. They start to see these numbers of views, searches, and activity climb. So what we want to see here with views is, views means somebody did a search for, and Google so generously showed us in that map section. So we want to watch those numbers, because we know that the more often we're showing up there, the more often we're going to get visits into our website or any of our different assets online, which is going to translate into more clients through our doors. Because remember, with Google, these people are looking for you. They're just, in most cases, not necessarily even brand loyal. They just want to find the person who's going to give them the best value, the best experience, answer their questions, and what they need. So you'll see a couple other different shortcuts on here to your posts, your photos. You can always take a look too to see what you look like on maps or searches. So that's always a good thing to test. You'll get some review summaries right here. You can click right here and directly manage your reviews. So we'll show you how to do that. And this will tend to switch up a little bit, but that's what's on her summary page today. Sometimes it's here with a little view plan and give you things to do. It's reminding Saley today to create her post. But there's the post section and the info section. So let's go to the info section first. So this is where we're talking about presence. And is our listing 100% complete? And is it doing a really great job of representing us? So the first thing is these categories right here. You can list up to 10. But what you do, if you only have one listed, or maybe you even have two, click on this little pencil right here, and you can start adding more categories. these are predetermined by Google. So you can't create your own. They're already preset. The way to get in there is just to start, typing, and you'll see what the options are, and you can choose from one of those. The reason why this is important is because Google has its own set of keywords and different search queries that fall into these different categories. So if you are offering multiple different lines of service in your business, but your category here only says one thing, then you're not going to show up for those other things. So that's sort of a big step one. You can note your service areas, your hours. You can put special hours in there for holiday hours. This might seem like a small thing, but why that's important is the rise of people searching by really talking into their phone and saying, find this type of business near me, open now. So Google wants to show the results for the people who are near them and open now. So if it's a holiday and your competitors haven't noted some special hours, but you are open and you've noted that on your listing, you have the opportunity to get that traffic from Google on that day. This right here is super important. It's actually tied to your reviews. And when you go in here, if you don't have one chosen yet, Google will recommend one for you, or you can enter your own short name. You have 32 characters here to do that. You can change it a few times a year, but it's good to pick one and just go with that. And then once you do that, it's going to actually create for you your own custom URL for your Google My Business page. And I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. And you can see if you've got appointment booking engine, some people are able to take appointments online, how great to automate that process, and just people love to be able to just complete that cycle of action. If they decided they want to reach out to you, make it easy for them. If you have 19 link or a page on your website where you can direct people straight there, again, that's going to get you a lot of love on Google because Google's users are looking for information, and that's going to give people the most timely and helpful response. Some other links, and some providers will have this and some won't. I haven't seen this on anything other than the healthcare agency, but there's different links. You can add products, you can add your services, photos. You want to have 10 photos at least as a best practice on your Google My Business page to sort of be in compliance, but usually I tell people to spend a good amount of time on the info page. Once you've got that set up, you can move forward on to some of the other components. So I'll show you. I'm actually going to go back to the home screen. And down here where it says get more reviews, and you click this little button right here, share review form. This is your custom Google My Business page specifically for reviews. So once you click on that, it'll copy it for you. Just gonna wanna show you what that's like. So many people ask me, how do I get more reviews? Well, first you have to ask, but if you can make it really easy for people by giving them the direct link to where they can go to take care of that for you, you're gonna win more often than not. So this is a little too, but you'll see how it pops up the Google My Business and the map and everything in the background, but it also doesn't take me an extra step or an extra click to go through and give that person a review. So that is super helpful. They can add a photo, whichever they like. They always want to remind me of my plan. Okay, so the other piece of the reviews is it's great to get a review, but we want to go in there and publicly respond to that review. The reviews alone give your listing some lift, but if you really want to take it that next step and show Google that you're paying attention and you're playing with their toy, the Google My Business profile, you can go in and thank that person. It's gonna send a note to this person. So Tracy got this note from Saley saying, thank you so much. We're so lucky to have you. What a great way to just validate the fact that they took that time to do that for you. Okay, so that is the info tab, the reputation. Where was I next? Outreach, Google posting. So if you do nothing after this training, but you go in and do your COVID-19 update on your business listing, you will be ahead of the game. So there's a couple different formats for how to post. Very similar to Facebook, you can sort of choose the format that you want to use, But when you add the COVID-19 update, it's going to display that prominently on your listing. And again, it's going to show Google that you've gone in, and if Google serves you up as a result on page 1, that the people who see that information are going to get the best user experience. They're going to know today how this business is operating in COVID-19. There's only 2 sections here. You want to add your status and a button. There's some different options. Maybe you want them to call, but if you do have a COVID-19 response on your website, take them to that page. If not, the homepage of your website is fine. In general, with marketing, it's good to, if you're taking people from one place to another place, to make sure that the information transfers. So if you're talking about it over here and you're sending people over here, to make sure that the same information is supported wherever you're taking them. So that's the COVID-19 update post. And then there's all these other options. If you're having a sale, you can add in the offer. You can put some start dates around it. You can add some additional details. So if it's an e-commerce type situation and you have some promo codes you want to put in, you can do those here. So you can see just some different ways to fill this out. And there's a preview button. So before you publish it, you can see exactly what it's going to look like. Make sure you chose the right button so it's not saying the wrong thing on there. But that is a great thing. There's also what's new. This is probably where you'll spend most of your time. So in what's new, there's 3 components: the photo or the video. So you want to add something eye-catching there. The details of the post right here. There's a character limit, and forgive me, it's escaping me right now. I think it might even be like 1,500 characters. So you can write a good amount of information. Again, keywords are helpful here. And then the button. If you do choose call now, it'll automatically populate with whatever is in your listing, but you can choose to learn more, go to the website, order online, book if you want people to book straight appointments with you or sign up for something, buy something. Just choose the most relevant response. So the best practice with posting is once a week. That's a minimum. Like I said, I have clients who are just posting something every day, maybe just Monday through Friday. And we're seeing just double and triple numbers of how many people are finding them and how much traffic and how many phone calls and how many people looking for directions, all that good stuff. You'll be able to go back and see over time what got shared and how many views there were. And this will be all relative. It depends. Like Saley happens to be in a pretty niche market with in-home physical therapy. You know, for people where there's a lot of competition, a lot more search volume online, you'll see, you know, probably more clicks and views, but this has still been a really great benefit to her business. Okay, outreach, communication. So this is the thing that a lot of people miss. If you notice over here on your listing, you'll see some of those components that we're working on in the back end translate over here. So we've got our reviews, we have our hours, phone number, our little logo. So if you've chosen the logo picture on your page, it'll pop that up for you right here. And this is the Q&A section, Q&A, questions and answers. This is where a user can go in and ask a question to the business. You can also see what's been asked in the past and what those responses are. So if you don't know, FAQs were sort of a big thing that people did when they were building websites in the beginning, and then it lost some of its steam. Now with voice search and Alexa and people literally asking questions into their devices, their smartphones, their smart devices at home, if somebody were to ask a question that was similar to an FAQ, whether it's on your Google My Business listing or on your website, and you have a robust, complete answer and a lot of good supporting information, you could be that option 0, they call it, and be chosen as the answer to that, where, you know, if you're on your phone and you ask a question, they give you one, sometimes multiple responses depending on who your AI person is there. But that's another great way for you to get found. And again, as the business, you can go in and ask your own question. You can have teammates go in there and ask questions and then have you answer as the owner. So the other thing about this is that other users can answer as well. So sometimes you'll see multiple responses on a question, and it could just be different people's understanding or different people's experience with that question. This is a big piece of your local SEO. So when you think about just providing the best user experience, this is going to be a heavy weight too when it comes to your Google My Business profile. So you can see here a few reviews, you have some snippets of that. This is the business description right there, and it'll link to other things. And then the more you add to your listing here, the more it will actually continue to build out on that page. Okay. And then the other thing you can always check is your insights. This tells you what people are looking for to find your page, how you're showing up. There's a ton of great information in here that you might find helpful or interesting. It'll show you if people are calling you, visiting the website, what's actually happening. So this is always great to track over time, like as you put in that work and you're posting on your page, which really can take minutes. If you get the Google My Business app and put it on your phone and you just replicate what you're doing with your other social media accounts, or even if you have blogs on your website that you've never driven traffic to, it's such an easy way to create a post and put some information out there. You'll start to see these numbers improve. Very rewarding, but your phone will actually start ringing more. There's more things you can do, but I don't want to take up all the time. I don't know if there's any questions or if you guys want to hear more, but I am happy to share however you like. Yeah.
I have a question. Does including a photo with your post or like, do photos basically give you more visibility? You know, I noticed that some of Sally's posts were just like a line or two of text. Does putting a visual make it kind of move up on the priority in terms of SEO?
Yes, the three pieces that you want to include are the photo, the description, and then the call to action button. I found that videos, if you can upload videos up there, and it's not where you can take a video link, but just like a native, you know, video MPEG file, those even get more love. For whatever reason, they get a lot. Some of the posts where Sally hadn't put a picture was because on the COVID-19 update specifically, it doesn't allow for one. So that's the only time where you wouldn't, but otherwise, yes, because then the photo will also save to your profile. So it's another way to, you know, as you're doing posts, it'll sort of have that two for one effect. Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Oops. Hello?
Hi, Julia. Yes, hello.
Yes, hi. My name is Julia, and Stephanie, thank you so much for this valuable session. It's too much information and some of it will go by.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I see that it's recorded, so I was wondering where later I can take a look or listen again, because you jump back and forth between what to do and then how to do. And I just want to, there's so much I will not be able to remember when I get there.
Yeah.
So is it possible to see it somewhere?
Yes, as of this, Pauline, as a follow-up to this, I send an email to all the people that are registered with either handouts from the presenter or the recorded link, which is on the Chamber's YouTube page. So if you look that up, you'll see all the recordings from the Chamber events.
Okay, thank you. And another question, Stephanie, more concrete. You were showing, but again, I wasn't exactly understand how. You're saying if you want to show your reviews, go here and then the map appears. So I'm not sure how you get from reviews to the map and why is it important?
Yes, great questions. And I know I did throw a lot of information out there. I think one of the reasons why I wanted to try to give some of the most important pieces was because I did know that it was going to be recorded, and I've had people give me feedback before that they've watched it and like paused and then gone and done the thing and then come back. And so that way you at least have all the things you really need to really take advantage and leverage the profile. I'm going to share my screen again. So the reviews will, okay. If this is your listing, the reviews will always show up. They are there, they live there. If you are sending like an email or a note or a text or putting it on your Facebook profile and you want to ask somebody to give you a review from your dashboard on Google My Business, you can create that link for them. And the reason why that was important is because previously, to try to Google yourself and find the actual link that you could send somebody to get a review was very challenging. It would be this like thousands, maybe not thousands, but so many digits in that link that it was very confusing, and it would often take people to the wrong place. It was just not a very straightforward thing to do for someone to say, it would be great if you reviewed me on Google, and then someone to say, okay, can you send me the link for how to do that? There wasn't a lot of success in doing that. And so now in your dashboard, it's actually on your homepage here. It'll say share your business profile. And you can do some other things to see your profile, but when you click on that, sorry, this will actually send people to your profile. Forgive me. There's one specifically for reviews. Here it is. Share review form. Share review form. So when you click on that, this will give you that link. And it's sort of the same, and I'll show that on my sort of last slide too, but it's going to be g.page, whatever you've chosen as your short name in the info tab, and then it'll say review. So if you were to, and I was just showing because this is what happens like on the other end. So if you send this link to someone, this is what they're going to see. When they click on that link, they're going to see all your business information, your hours, your updates, all of that, but it's going to pop this up so that they can just go in and say, Julia is amazing. I loved working with her. I recommend everybody else to do that. And then once they follow through with that, it's going to house that review again right here. You'll see these reviews start to go up. So step one is essentially to ask people, whether it's verbally, text, email, however you're doing it. And then step two is to give them that link to make it like a really easy thing for them to do. One click, review is there, and you're done. That makes sense? That helps a little bit?
Yes, thank you so much. It's
Sure.
a lot of sense, and I appreciate. And as Pauline said, it will be somewhere, and she will send email. I will look into your video many times. For
Yes.
sure.
Great. Good. Anybody else have questions?
Yes, Stephanie, if I may. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. My name is Anya. I'm from Santa Clara County, San Jose, actually. I found this presentation, this invitation somewhere on Facebook, I believe. Stephanie, my question, what would you advise me as a real estate agent? Should I pay more for Google ads or Facebook ads?
Great question. It's a great question. I think it depends on the overall budget you have to work with and what some of your goals are specifically. I think there's definitely an opportunity for realtors in general to even just take advantage of the freeness of Google My Business. It's one of the stats I saw the other day. It was like a very small percentage, like under 50% of realtors have actually set up or claimed a Google My Business listing. So if you are actually using that every week and you're taking advantage of it, like that's a great way to get to page one for people who are looking for realtors and they want like a local expert. With Facebook ads, I'm a big proponent of it, and there's so many different ways to utilize it, especially for realtors, whether it's like off-market listings or, to try to find people who want to sell. I know that can be a challenge in this market too. So I guess the short answer is it really depends on your budget, your goals, but both platforms are good. And I probably do see realtors more these days going towards Facebook as a way because it can be really expensive on Google.
Okay. Would you say $1,000 a month would be like doable? Would it get me somewhere on Google, $1,000 a month if I would like to spend on ads to get some visibility?
Depending on the geography, like how big of an area you wanted to target, that would be a good starting point. I usually recommend that people don't invest less than that on a monthly basis for Google alone. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome. It definitely works, but it's like, the analogy I use is like you're trying to frost a cake, right? You have this big sheet cake and you've only got a little half a cup of frosting. Like it's just not going to go very far. You're just not going to get a return on your investment. So there's like that sweet spot of where you do have to invest the right amount and then it will pay dividends. But if you invest less, you're just kind of spinning your wheels. That makes sense.
That's true.
You need so many visits into your website to convert. It's only like 2% of the traffic you get into your site will actually convert into a lead. and then you know how many leads you need. So it's just kind of math, like we do the math and figure out, okay, if we need this many leads to convert and get a sale to get this, like how much. There's a little bit of a formula.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. I appreciate. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome. Great question. Are there some chats? Let's see. Okay. So it seems like Google My Business page confirmed, and now simply need to fill everything out.
And Stephanie, this is your business, right? I'm sorry because I'm like new to the group. So if I was to looking for help in setting in this this Google page, I can contact you, and this is pretty much the service that you're offering. Am I correct?
Yes, I have a few different services I offer. So a little bit more background. I've been working with local businesses for the past 16 years to help them with their marketing, the past 11 just in digital alone. I actually work for an agency called Local IQ. We're a nationwide company. We're part of the USA Today network, and we have tons of resources to actually run campaigns for you. So we, like a lot of my clients, we run the Facebook campaigns for them. We run the Google ad campaign for them. These are all things you can do yourself, but it's kind of like, I could probably do my own taxes, but I'm gonna miss all kinds of things. So we have like a do it for you solution through Local IQ. And for people who maybe don't have the budget, maybe they're just getting started, I also do coaching. So I coach a lot on just things like, basic stuff, setting up your Google My Business page, how to increase your engagement on social media, anything that sort of falls under the like search to social kind of umbrella. So depending on like what people need, I'll sort of figure out what's the best solution for them, like which way to go.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. I sent you an invitation on LinkedIn. I hope to connect.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Are there more chats? Why isn't it showing me? Well, I'm always available. I have just an appointment booking link for anybody who wants to set up like a 10-minute call with me just to explore and see, if I can help you with some of your goals. But the 4 things that I really would hope for you to take away from this today is to go to business.google.com, claim and manage your listing there, bookmark that page so that you can easily get to it. You don't have to fumble around each time. To go in and create your profile short name and your review link. So that's under the info tab. And it'll be, this is sort of the format of it. It's g.page / whatever you've named your short name / review. So that'll be the link that you would send to people to bolster your reviews. To add 10 photos and post 1 time a week. This is like the minimum best practice to be in compliance and get that extra love and that more visibility. And to post your COVID-19 update. So tell Google what you're doing, how you're doing it, anything that's relevant to that, and to take them either just to your website or to a dedicated page on your website that will reinforce that. I mean, this is what everybody wants to know right now, and you're just going to increase your chances to show up when people are looking for what you do. So those are the goods.
Stephanie, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
If someone has a business, but it's basically based out of their home, do you still recommend they do the Google My Business page?
Yes.
I think
a lot of,
because I think that Google actually makes you like clarify that you actually are at that location.
Exactly. So the reason why you do need to have a physical address tied to it is because the first step, especially if you're setting it up from brand new, or maybe you're claiming it after it's just been untouched for years, is they'll send you a physical postcard in the mail with a PIN number on it. And once you get that postcard with that PIN number, you log back in and you'll enter that to verify the account, and then you can start using it. But if you are working from home, and that probably means that you're either servicing people virtually or you're going out to service them at their place of business or home, whatever that is, you can actually hide your address, because I know that's always a concern. We don't want our address to necessarily be on there. If you don't advertise at other places, we're not going to put it there. So it's really just an extra box that you would check on your listing to say, I service. And I think, even though Saley has an office, you can see she had entered in her areas of service. And so it'll create a little thing for you here that shows what your service areas are. So yeah, I don't know if she has I don't even know if she has an address listed on here, even though, like I said, she does have one. It's her therapists are going out to homes to service people. And so you want to be able to show that. And it might be the country. I mean, I even have a client who she's got, you know, folks in like Australia and London and, you know, South Africa and different places. So it took a little bit longer for her listing to get verified, but it is something that you can designate. Like you can say that in your listing where your clients can come from, and then Google will represent it appropriately. Yeah, good question. Thank you.
Okay, well, this is Cheryl. So it's about 10:35, and so Stephanie, I think this was very valuable and informative. I want to thank you